October 9th, 2019. 7 overrated creepypastas. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so this is overrated creepypastas. Now, some of the stories I like, some of them I don't. I'll tell you which ones. Just because a story is overrated, in my opinion, doesn't mean it's not a good story. It just means it gets more, it gets more popular than it should. So, let's get right into it. Number 1 will be stories that I like. As it goes up, that'll be the stories I don't like. So, let's get into it. Number 1, Ben Drown. Now, I kind of like Ben Drown. Me personally, I've only, read, half the story. So that's why it's on number 1, because I haven't read the entire story. Now, if you don't know, Ben Drowned is a story about Majora's Mask. It's a Legend of Zelda game, and it's like a corrupt game or something. I don't actually know much about it, because a long time ago, back in, 2014, Dr. JC kept bugging me to read it or listen to it or whatever, and finally in 2015, a year later, I was like, oh, okay, so I listened to it, and frankly, everyone was talking about how creepy it was, and it just didn't feel creepy. It is very interesting that there was gameplay to go along with it, but yeah, that's why it's on number 1. It didn't live up to the creepiness that I thought it would, so yeah. Number 3, Jack. Wait, is this one Jack the Killer? It's another Jack, isn't it? Eyeless Jack, that's it. Yeah, Eyeless Jack. The other one was Laughing Jack. Sorry. Now, when I first read this story, I kind of liked it, but as I kind of grew up and I realized this story is fucking ass. You know what I mean? It was like, because, for multiple reasons, right? We have, I'm getting a lot of this from Hoodly Hoolum's Revenge. This whole video idea was inspired by it, and he brings up some pretty good points that I want to bring up in this video. I don't like this story either, not anymore, but it is one of those classic creepypastas, right? So, they do have a whole bunch of these, blank, just flat characters, right? They have Mitch. Mitch is just this Mary. He's just a. I don't want to quote Hootie right here. I'm just gonna say Mary Sue type. He's just this. I just don't like this story because it's just so contrived, so forced. Like he eats Mitch's kidney, right? I don't fucking know. Anyway, Mitch decides a brilliant idea would be to take a picture of this monster instead of call for help or, anything. Which, that's just in the story because, that way the story has a picture to go along with it. But yeah, fuck, I'm done with this. I just don't like the story. The story is ass. 2, Jack the Killer, or the Clown. Okay, so anyway, this creepypasta is called Jack the Killer, I think. Anyway, not to be confused with Jeff the Killer, we'll get into him later. I don't like Jack the Killer for multiple reasons, okay? This is one of the stories that I don't like. Reason number 1 is that it's so forced, right? Hootie Hoodlum's Revenge brings this up a lot in his videos, but it's so forced. Like, for example, they have a family dog, and the family dog is brought into the story only to be killed in the next scene. You know what I mean? Wait. Anyway. So yeah. I don't like this story. Another reason why is because, again, Hootie Hoodlum's Revenge brought this up. So, the police, basically tell the mother and her son James to, go inside, even though the burglar could obviously come back later. And it's just so forced, and so, at the end of the story, it's supposed to be written by the mother who's in an insane asylum, because she, killed her son. I'll get into that in a minute. But it's all written from, like, different perspectives. Like, it's written from James's perspective, from the mother's perspective, from a third-person perspective. The story is just all over the place. And it can't make up its mind on which perspective it wants to go with. And it keeps getting thrown around. And, giving it, like, a number 3 spot on every creepypasta list is kind of getting pretty old, you know what I mean? The story is not good in the slightest. And, they should stop putting this story on all, like, oh, scary creepypastas #1, Jack. It's stupid. I don't like this story. The story should not get as much publicity as it does. Anyway, on to number 3. Number 4, Sally, Play With Me. This story, I hate. I despise this story. For multiple reasons. Number 1, the story is awful. It involves rape, if you don't know, is just a plot device. The story itself, I've listened to the story, I've read the story. The story itself is horrible. It just doesn't make any sense. And then her uncle rapes her and then kills her. And then for whatever reason, she just becomes this murderous demon or something. The fucking story is ass. Number 5, Slender Man. Now, Slender Man, I think, honestly, is a real entity, but there are obviously those fake stories. Now, I like Slender Man, right? It's interesting. Nonetheless, though, it is a creepypasta, so it is on this list. The thing about Slender Man, though, is just that it got so popular, and, I don't know, the stories about Slender Man now are just ass, so, I mean, that's it. Number 6? Is this number 6? I think this is number 6. Yeah, number 6. Sonic.exe. First of all, the story is very badly written. It doesn't make any sense. It's a horrible story. It's not a good creepypasta. It's a bad example of what a creepypasta should be. It's not a good story. Number 7, Jeff the Killer. Jeff the Killer is an awful story. It's forced, it's contrived, it's horribly written, it's not a good creepypasta, and for some reason it gets so much notoriety, right? My friend Sam told me to read Jeff the Killer, and I listened to this story, right? Because he's going on about how Jeff the Killer was such a great story. And I read it, and I was like, and after I got done reading, I'm like, wait, was that supposed to be scary? And it's, like, I guess at the end, it kind of picks up, but it's so cliche, right? And it's such a horrible story that no, the story is bad. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video of 7 overrated creepypastas. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.